Fleet carriers were just announced, offering new possibilities for gameplay and interesting game mechanics. As Obsidian Ant has already covered their new features in great detail, if you haven't yet seen the full reveal, I highly suggest you watch his video first so you'll understand the context here. Leading up to fleet carriers, I've been pretty excited for them, with a few caveats. I've said many times that the primary feature I'm looking for is the ability to move my fleet of ships anywhere in the bubble so I can engage in gameplay in different areas. I've also said I worry about what the gotchas will be. What will be that one feature or setting that would make them almost unusable for most players? I often use multicrew as an example, where we all assumed we'd be able to multicrew the SRV and mix wings and multicrew. Specifically that last feature, not being able to mix wings and multicrew, makes it useless in many situations where it otherwise would be useful. And after more than 2 years, we still don't have those basic features. So let's look at what I consider to be two huge gotchas I already see with fleet carriers. Let's start with who these huge ships are for, which is one of the primary issues with fleet carriers. These are clearly designed for players with thousands of hours, with billions of credits and dozens of ships, which is a very small minority of the player base. However, the issue is everyone is clamoring for new gameplay, for something new to do. Hadley's launched over a year ago with the mining and exploration update. When they were planned, there would have possibly been a different reaction, as players would have still had something new to engage in. As a standalone update that is clearly designed for only in-game players, the reaction has predictably divided the player base. So far, I see two significant issues with the currently announced features, and I'm sharing my thoughts in the hope that both of these will be addressed before, during, or after the beta period. First are the spin-up and cooldown times, specifically the spin-up time. As I said, the primary feature I'm excited about is moving my ships around the bubble all at once so I can engage in different gameplay. Friends are PvPing in Sand 2? I'll be right there. Friends are fighting Thargoids in the Pleiades? I'll be right there. Given the planned spin-up time, I have to wait 1 hour before I can jump my carrier, meaning I have to wait 1 hour before I can join my friends. With this significant delay, it is literally faster and even easier to fly my DBX to the location in a few minutes, then transfer my ships, very likely in far less than 1 hour. For me personally, if this doesn't change, like the inability to mix wings and multicrew, this will make carriers nearly useless for me, and I believe many others. The next gotcha I see is the exclusion of Universal Cartographics. This oversight is a massive blow to the exploration community. While explorers would still benefit from having carriers as a hub for repair and refuel and ship and module storage, this oversight creates a few issues. Again, the spin-up and cooldown times are an issue, as currently it would take roughly 80 hours to reach Colonia, something that can be done in a long-range Anaconda in under 2. Even with this, the primary issues are first the inability for explorers to work to pay for their upkeep costs, necessitating the farming of a significant amount of credits before setting out so you have enough to cover all costs during your time in the black. Second, and what I see as more significant, is the risk to your exploration data. Without being able to sell or even store your exploration data, if you were to die, you would lose every bit of that data you collected. This could be handled in a few ways. Allowing owners of the carrier to sell their data at some kind of loss when compared with a standard station seems most appropriate, allowing for them to earn credits from their own data and from the data of others. Even the simple ability to store your data on the carrier, such that you'd ferry this to a station once you're back in inhabited space, would mitigate this risk. I realize I'm making this video very early, before we've even had a chance to test out these enormous ships, but it's very worrying that I already see two major gotchas that make these either far less useful or, for me personally, nearly useless. I worry that if these aren't appealing to me, someone with nearly 7,000 hours, 80 ships, 1,200 engineered modules, and 22 billion credits, and they aren't possibly appealing to long-range explorers, who are they appealing to? Traders who want to store huge amounts of commodities? Miners who want to store and move low-temperature diamonds between the rings of Moran and a selling station? Maybe, but even that likely appeals to an exceedingly small part of the player base. While these will likely never be something designed for the majority, these two early gotchas mean they possibly aren't appealing to even those who they are clearly designed for. I look forward to the beta, and as I know there are and will be additional issues, I hope Frontier listens to and is open to the feedback we provide. I hope you'll share your early thoughts on these ships in the comments below. This has been a slightly hoarse Commander Exegius of EDTutorials.com, reminding you to fly dangerously, and thanks for watching. If you're planning to purchase a fleet carrier and need credits, I hope you'll check out my guides on earning them, and that if you're new here, you'll consider subscribing